All right, welcome. Today, we're going to put a mineral you think you know under the microscope. I mean, we all grew up hearing about calcium, right? But its real job description is so much more fascinating than you probably imagine. Let's get into it.
So, if I were to ask you, what is the number one job of calcium? What's the first thing that pops into your head? I'm willing to bet that for pretty much everyone, the answer is instant, and it has everything to do with our skeleton.
And you know what? You'd be absolutely right. Calcium's claim to fame, its most famous role, is being the primary building block of our bones. It's the literal framework of our bodies.
But here's the thing. That's just the headline. It's like the very first line on a very, very long resume. The truth is, calcium is one of the busiest, most versatile minerals in your entire body. And it's doing all these critical tasks that go way beyond just bone health. Okay, let's dive in and see what I mean.
So, first up, let's stick with its role as the master builder. We think of calcium as the architect of our physical structure, and what's so cool is how its blueprint actually changes pretty dramatically as we go through life.
See, when we're young, calcium is all about construction. It's laying down all this dense, strong bone tissue to build us a really resilient skeleton. But as we get older, its job kind of shifts from building to maintenance. In adulthood, having enough calcium becomes crucial for preventing things like osteoporosis, keeping our bones strong, and, helping the repair process if we do get a fracture. And this whole architect job isn't just for our bones. It's also fundamental for our dental health. Calcium strengthens our tooth enamel. That's that hard outer shield that protects us from cavities. And it also maintains the density of our jawbone, the very thing that anchors our teeth in place. So the crucial point is, it builds the entire framework.
Okay, so let's move on and see how it goes from structure to function. Because calcium isn't just a building material. It's also the spark that runs your body's internal power grid. And I mean this literally. Without it, nothing moves, and no messages get sent.
Every single thought you have, every sensation you feel, it all relies on your nerve cells talking to each other. And how do they do that? Well, when a signal gets to the end of one nerve cell, a flood of calcium ions is the essential trigger that lets that message jump across to the next cell. Without calcium, that whole communication network would just grind to a halt.
Now, what's really interesting here is that this same principle applies directly to movement. I mean, every single time you move a muscle, from lifting a weight to just blinking your eyes, you're witnessing this exact cycle. A nerve signal from your brain triggers the release of calcium, and that acts like a key, unlocking the muscles so that it can contract. Then, to relax, the calcium just gets pumped back out. It's a perfect system, right? And when it gets out of balance, well, that's when you start to experience things like cramps and spasms. And, of course, the most important muscle we have, the heart, is absolutely no exception. As you can see, calcium's role here is vital, and it's pretty varied. About 40% of its effort is dedicated to regulating the heart's rhythm, making sure we have a steady beat. The rest of its job is split pretty evenly between making sure our blood clots properly and helping our blood vessels tighten and relax, which is key for keeping our blood pressure healthy. All right, now for what I think are the most surprising roles. Beyond building us and powering us, calcium also acts as this silent guardian, protecting your body from a whole range of health challenges you'd probably never even associate with it. And this brilliantly illustrates the diversity of that protection. For instance, studies suggest calcium can help prevent abnormal cells from growing in the colon. And here's a fascinating paradox for you. Even though some kidney stones contain calcium, getting enough calcium in your diet can actually reduce your risk. It works by grabbing onto these compounds called oxalates in your gut. You find them in foods like spinach. And it flushes them out before they can ever form stones. Pretty clever, right? And for many women, calcium can be a really powerful ally. Research has actually shown that getting enough calcium can significantly reduce how severe common PMS symptoms are. And that includes emotional stuff like mood swings and irritability, and also the physical symptoms like bloating and painful menstrual cramps. And the list of these guardian duties just keeps going. Calcium is a key player in our endocrine system. It helps regulate the secretion of crucial hormones from glands like the thyroid. It also influences how our bodies metabolize fat and is essential for proper digestion, helping us soak up other vital nutrients from our food.
So, after seeing all of this, it is crystal clear that we need to update our understanding of what calcium really is and what it's doing for us every single second of every single day. And we absolutely cannot forget one of the most critical areas it protects, our brain health. From the very beginning, calcium is essential for a kid's brain to develop optimally.
And that role continues our whole lives, since keeping our levels right is linked to a lower risk of neurodegenerative disorders, helping to protect our cognitive function as we get older.
So the crucial point is, when you really think about it, calcium isn't just a simple bone builder. It's a multi-system superstar. It's the architect that builds our foundation, it's the power grid that runs all our internal electronics, and it's the guardian protecting us from harm.
Thinking about it like that, as an architect, a power source, and a guardian, it really changes the picture, doesn't it? It kind of makes you wonder, with a resume this impressive, are you really giving this essential mineral the starring role in your health that it actually deserves?